안녕하세요 from Korea. Welcome to Next Matchup. Today we're cooking with radish and dilgirim. Dilgirim is sesame seed oil. I love cooking with it. It's a great Korean ingredient. So we're going to combine that with oysters, with radish. We're going to braise the radish, braise the oysters, make this lovely sauce to put on top. See how it goes. Let's begin. So this recipe comes from 흑백요리사, which is Culinary Class Wars on Netflix, and I've always wanted to cook up a radish steak, so when I saw the recipe, plus it uses my favorite ingredient, Perilla Oil, I had to cook it. So here we go, I've got my delicious radish. I love using radish and I love frying it up. It has such a good flavor when it's fried up. Now you don't have to do it at 5 centimeters thickness. You can do anywhere from 4 to 3 is fine. Make sure it is thick though, or it'll get too mushy and soft when you braise it. If you do have it a little thinner, for instance 4 to 3 centimeters, then all you need to do is make sure you're cooking for less. So I'm going to cook mine for 50 minutes. Cook yours for 40 if it's 4 centimeters and 30 minutes if it's 3 centimeters. Take the edges off as well, so obviously take off the skin too. And you won't take the edges off because they're going to fall apart as it starts to soften up and cook, and it'll sort of ruin the outside sort of shape of it. You should do this whenever you're braising any type of radish or carrot. You'll find you get a better sort of effect out of it. 800 mils water, make sure it's mostly covered. It doesn't have to cover all the way. You can just add more water if you really want to be sure, but you're going to flip it anyway, and it is going to sort of, braise or cook and boil with the lid on. So there we go. Put the lid on, and that'll make sure it gets a nice even coating. At about the 25-minute mark, or the middle part, flip them over, and then let them keep going. Now we can see something strange here, which is that sauce is thickening up and sort of getting browner, which means, when you flip it the second time, it's going to be a bit browner there. So what you could do, and what I would do if I did again, is just do another flip. Flip it a little earlier, and then flip it again maybe for about 8 minutes. How are we doing our oysters? So put all this oil in, get it frying, get it hot, throw in the oysters, and once you put the oysters in, they're going to sit in the pan for about 5 minutes. Keep stirring it, you don't want it to burn. But as you do it and you cook it at sort of a medium-low heat, you'll find the sauce thickens up really nicely, and you'll get this beautiful brown color on the oysters. And you know it's ready when, the sauce is thick and the oysters are brown. This is the hard part. We're going to make the sauce. Now, put in your potato starch here. Make sure you have a very low heat and give it a stir. See how it's all thickening up? But it won't work perfectly. If this is all you do, you'll find that it'll very quickly get runny. Add a little bit of water. Now, you can use any water, but I'm going to use a little bit of this brown water from our radish dish to give it a bit more flavor. Just a little bit is fine. If you need, add a tiny bit more if it's not really sort of coming together. So water plus starch plus oil and sugar, and you'll get a beautiful sauce. Just remember, do it on low. And then the last step, fry up our radishes. Get a nice hot pan, so medium heat, and fry for about a minute on each side. Move it around, look, make sure it's sitting nicely. Turn it over. Now this side I could have probably cooked for a little bit longer. I really want, there we go, look. It's not burnt, it's perfectly cooked. I want that brown, and you really do want that because it's going to add a little bit of extra flavor to your radish that you're not going to get if you don't fry it up nicely. There's my sauce, look at that, perfect. So a bit of sauce on top. This is quite a thick sauce. You might find that yours might be a bit runnier. That's okay too. It'll still work out perfectly, and it'll still taste good. And then a little bit of wasabi. Add the wasabi. When you'll see, go to the end where I eat it, and you'll see the wasabi is a game changer. Speaking of which, let's eat. This is ready to go. So I'm gonna bring you in. Come in a little bit. Let's see how it cuts up. The radish is very soft, which is good because you don't want a big chunk of radish. Look at that. Wow. Okay, now so you can see. Whoa. That's beautiful. Does it taste good? Let's find out. Better than I thought. I could definitely improve this. I think a little bit more sugar in the sauce, and maybe a little bit more of the water from the broth, and put that with the sauce on top. One of these oysters. Look at that. Alright, that sauce might be bland. Those oysters are fantastic. And put them together. Now that's the combination. That is fantastic. That is actually amazing. Oyster, wasabi, sauce. Oh yeah. Oh, that's, wow. Alright, my expectations were pretty low, but all those flavors work so well together. So thanks for watching, cook well, and have a good day. Annyeonghaseyo.